Rashida Frost, 48, has finally made the decision to confront Jasmine Blue face-to-face. Yes, after years of silence, heartbreak, betrayal, and humiliation, she has finally reached her breaking point. However, let me tell you that this story is about more than just a confrontation. It's about secrets, manipulation, and a plan that may have been in the works long before anyone realized it. This is how Jasmine Blue allegedly trapped Kirk Frost, and even more shockingly, she now wants Kirk to divorce Rasheeda. Even though she stood by Kirk through the infidelity, scandals, and public humiliation, Rasheeda has been the epitome of strength and grace, handling the drama surrounding her marriage with a level of dignity that left many in awe. But why now, at 48, has she finally decided that enough is enough? That's where this story takes a turn that no one saw coming. Destiny took an unexpected turn, and now the truth is playing out in front of our eyes. The confrontation between Rasheeda and Jasmine aims to establish the truth definitively. However, the shocking part is that many people think Jasmine didn't just get involved with Kirk by chance. There are whispers and even alleged insider claims that suggest this was all part of a larger scheme. Some argue that Jasmine was not merely a random woman who had an affair with a married man, but rather, she was strategically maneuvering her way into Kirk's life and subsequently into Rasheeda's world. And now, after years of stress, the time has come for all the bottled-up feelings, the repressed rage, and the unsolved questions to finally surface. To fully comprehend the seriousness of the situation, we must return to the beginning, before the confrontation, before the public scandals, before Rasheeda even realized what was going on behind her back. Jasmine Blue, a name that would soon become one of the most controversial figures in Rasheeda, and you won't believe how the story of Kirk Frost's marriage transpired. So allow me to tell you how it all began. For years, Rasheeda and Kirk Frost were one of the longest-running couples in hip-hop. Their relationship had been put to the test, with rumors of infidelity constantly lingering in the background. But they managed to keep things together until Jasmine Blue entered the picture and destiny took an unexpected turn. Jasmine wasn't just any woman. She was young, attractive, and, according to many, extremely strategic. When the news of Jasmine's pregnancy broke, it sent shockwaves through Rasheeda's world. At first, Kirk denied everything, trying to dismiss the rumors as if there was no truth to them. But the shocking part is that their relationship didn't start out as a casual fling. Many people thought that Jasmine had a plan all along, one that involved securing her place in Kirk's life permanently, and what better way to do that than by having his child? The story takes an interesting turn when Jasmine refused to back down and insisted that Kirk was the father. Soon after, pressure mounted for him to take a paternity test, and the results showed that Kirk Frost had fathered a child outside of his marriage. This broke the idyllic picture of his relationship with Rasheeda, but what makes this story unique isn't just that Kirk cheated. Some insiders claim that Jasmine knew exactly what she was doing from the beginning and that this wasn't just an affair, but a calculated move. Although Kirk may have believed he was just enjoying a brief escape, Jasmine had more ambitious plans. She wanted a permanent place at the table, and by bearing Kirk's child, she made sure she would always be a part of his life. The most outrageous part is that Kirk not only betrayed Rasheeda emotionally, but also financially supported her, spending money on her lifestyle, while Rasheeda was left to deal with the fallout from their failing relationship. Marriage, but in spite of everything, Rasheeda persisted. She didn't make any snap decisions and instead chose to handle the matter in private up until this point. But why didn't Rasheeda leave Kirk as soon as she learned about his secret child? Many people theorized that she was staying for the sake of their joint company, empire, or perhaps she still had hope that Kirk would change. But now that things have gotten out of hand, Rasheeda has finally decided that enough is enough, and the battle lines have been drawn, and the drama is far from over. So now that we know how it all began, let's move on to the next big question. Did Jasmine actually trap Kirk, or was he a willing participant in his story? Because Jasmine isn't just sitting back and letting Rasheeda take control of the narrative. She has her own version of events, her own claims, and she's making bold moves that could change everything. Own downfall, and more significantly, why does she want Rasheeda to stay with me and leave the picture entirely? Because now that we know how it all began, things are going to get even more bizarre. Let's get to the real question. Was this just an affair gone too far, or did Jasmine Blue have a plan all along? Because, believe me, the more you learn about the specifics, the more it becomes clear that Kirk Frost wasn't just an unfaithful husband. He might have been playing at his own game, and you won't believe it. When Jasmine Blue entered the picture, some believe she saw an opportunity, a man who was already known for cheating on his wife, a man with financial connections, and most importantly, a wife who had previously been forgiving because Kirk had a reputation for being reckless in his marriage and wasn't exactly known for being the most faithful husband. The level of manipulation that some claim was at play here is that this wasn't just about an affair, but rather about securing a future, and the most bizarre part is that it might. Rumors began to circulate that Jasmine was never just a random woman who happened to fall in love with Kirk. According to insiders, she deliberately placed herself in Kirk's circle so that they would cross paths at the appropriate times and places. She was aware of his weaknesses and played on them expertly, whether it was by charm, attention, or just giving him the impression that he was in charge. Jasmine allegedly worked her way into his life before dropping the ultimate bombshell. She was pregnant. Here's the shocking part. According to some sources, Jasmine may have known exactly what she was doing when she became pregnant. There is speculation that this was not an accident at all, but rather a calculated move to guarantee that she would always be associated with Kirk. After all, what better way to secure a place in a wealthy man's life than by bearing his child? This is where things take a dark turn, as Kirk, of course, denied everything at first and attempted to minimize the situation and act as though it wasn't that serious. But as we now know, the DNA test changed everything, and that's when the power dynamic changed. For the first time, Jasmine wasn't just any woman. She was the mother of his child, which gave her leverage. Don't forget that Kirk was already providing for her, paying for her lifestyle, and making sure she had everything she needed. The question is, though, whether he did that out of guilt or because he knew he had been duped and there was nothing he could do about it. People began to realize that this was more than just an affair. It was a power struggle. Jasmine had something Rashida never anticipated, a permanent connection to Kirk, and whether Kirk wanted to acknowledge it or not, he was now stuck in a situation with no easy way out. What makes this scandal different from others involving celebrity cheating is that Jasmine didn't just sit quietly and play the role of a side piece. Instead, she was outspoken, bold, and made it clear that she wasn't going anywhere. The most absurd thing is that even after all of this, Kirk still attempted to keep his marriage to Mar intact, but Rashida wasn't blind. She knew that Jasmine wasn't just a passing woman. She was making moves. Now, after years of silence, Rashida has decided it's time to confront her, but the real question is why. Let's just say that Jasmine isn't content with having Kirk's child alone. She wants more, and that's what we're going to discuss next as to why Jasmine wants Kirk to divorce Rashida. And how, believe me, she's trying to make it happen. Stay tuned. For years, Rashida Frost has been the epitome of grace under pressure. Despite the lies, betrayal, and public humiliation, she maintained her composure and concentrated on her family and business empire. However, the shocking part is that, after all this time, after all the rumors and scandals, Rashida has finally chosen to face Jasmine Blue face to face. The question is, why now, and what has driven her to this breaking point? Because let me tell you, this isn't just about an old affair. This is where things get interesting. Rashida isn't just any wife. She built an empire with Kirk Frost, supporting him through thick and thin. When the media exploded with the scandal surrounding Jasmine's pregnancy, she swallowed her pride and decided to stay married, not just out of love, but also because of the legacy she and Kirk had created together. However, destiny took a surprising turn when Jasmine decided that being Kirk's baby mother wasn't enough and that she wanted more. Then things took a drastic turn. According to sources, Jasmine began making moves behind the scenes to try to push Rashida out of the picture completely. This is where it gets crazy. There are rumors that she has been pressuring Kirk to leave Rashida and commit to her instead of using their child as leverage. For a long time, Jasmine played the role of the woman in the background. She was known in public as the mother of Kirk's child, but she mostly avoided the spotlight. She makes it clear that she wants more than just financial support. But what makes this story unique is that it's not just the usual side chick trying to replace the wife situation. Jasmine is aware how much Rashida has invested in this marriage, and many people think that she has been purposefully pushing boundaries and waiting for Rashida to finally lose it. Now that time has arrived, and Rashida, who has been trying for years to move past the betrayal, has finally had enough. The most bizarre part is that this isn't just Rashida confronting Jasmine. After years of trying to keep the peace, Rashida is ready to set the record straight. This isn't about jealousy or insecurity. It's about respect. She wants Jasmine to understand once and for all that regardless of what happened in the past, she is still Kirk's wife, and she is not. It's about her confronting Kirk, too, because, in the end, he allowed the situation to get out of control. He gave Jasmine an inch, and she took a mile. The real question is whether this confrontation will be the end of Rashida and Kirk's marriage, or whether it will finally be the wake-up call that Kirk needs to cut Jasmine off for good. This is when things get even more bizarre. What if Kirk isn't as loyal to Rashida as she believes? What if, deep down, he's actually considering Jasmine's ultimatum? Let's face it, Kirk has never been the most predictable man, and things could take an unexpected turn with Jasmine in his ear. Jasmine Blue wasn't just a random woman involved in an affair. She strategically played her cards to secure a permanent spot in Kirk Frost's life. However, this is where it gets even more shocking. She doesn't just want to be Kirk's baby mother. She wants Rashida out of the picture completely. The real question is why Jasmine is pushing for a permanent place in Kirk Frost's life. The next chapter is going to be the most explosive, but stay with me because what happens next will change everything. Divorce after all these years, because at first glance, it may appear that Jasmine is just another woman who fell for the wrong man, but according to insiders, she has been playing a long game, and her ultimate goal is to become more than just Kirk's ex-mistress. She wants to be his wife, and the craziest part is that she may even think she deserves that title more than Rashida does. From Jasmine's point of view, she has something that Rashida doesn't, Kirk's child, while Rashida built. Jasmine gave Kirk something even more permanent through their son, which gives her leverage. According to some sources, Jasmine has been pressuring Kirk behind the scenes, telling him that if he truly wants to do the right thing by his son, he needs to take charge of her and make her his top priority. The simplest way to do that is to get a divorce from Rashida and start over with her. The shocking part is that Jasmine isn't just using their child to support her claims. She has allegedly been sowing doubts in Kirk's mind, making him wonder if it's worth it to stay with Rashida any longer. She is aware of Kirk's past infidelity, and if she can convince him that he will never be forgiven, she might just persuade him that starting over with her is his best option. Trust me, this is where things get messy because what sets this story apart from all the other cheating scandals is that Jasmine isn't following the rules. Most mistresses know their place, stay quiet, and move on when things don't go their way. But Jasmine isn't going to. In spite of everything Rashida has done to keep their marriage intact, Kirk hasn't completely shut her down. Whether it's because of their child or something else entirely, he hasn't cut her off, which is what most wives would expect their husbands to do after a scandal this significant. She has been vocal, bold, and relentless in her pursuit of Kirk everywhere. Some even think she has been using social media to subtly criticize him. And that only makes Jasmine more enraged because, in her opinion, she still has a chance as long as Kirk is alive. However, let's face it, Jasmine isn't just looking for love. She knows that Kirk and Rashida have built an empire together. So if she plays her cards right, she might end up with more than just a relationship. Some people theorize that she views Kirk as her financial security, a man who, if she can fully claim him, could give her a lifestyle that she could never have on her own. If obtaining Kirk means bringing Rashida down in the process, then so be it. This is where things get even more bizarre. What if Kirk is actually thinking about leaving Rashida after all these years? Given that he has always struggled with loyalty and that Jasmine is always in his ear, there's no telling what he might do next. The question now is whether Jasmine will get what she wants or whether Rashida will finally put her foot down and end this once and for all. One thing is certain though, this story is far from over. And I will never forget the ultimate confrontation between these three because of what transpires. Next might make all the difference.